This video is sponsored by JPfans. Over the last couple of months, I've been going to a lot more Beyblade events, and I ran into a problem I didn't expect. I didn't have a good way to carry my deck. Now, there are Beyblade cases out there that exist, but most of them are kind of bulky, or they're awkward to carry, or they don't really have that unique feel for them that I was looking for. And if I'm going to a tournament with hundreds of people, I want to make sure that what I'm using feels like mine. So I started thinking about features that I wanted it to have. I knew that my hands would be occupied by holding the grip and the winder and the ripcord, so I wanted to make sure that I could easily put it away to make it hands-free. I also wanted to make sure it was something that wouldn't get in the way when I actually needed to pack it. So I started thinking about what currently existed that fills that criteria, and the first thing that came to mind was a Hydro Flask. I wanted to figure out if there was a overlap between a water bottle design and a Beyblade deck, and there wasn't, so I had to make my own. Before I could even consider designing things, I needed accurate measurements. Beyblade X has been around since 2023, so it's pretty well established at this point. And if you've been a part of the Beyblade community, you will know that the releases are kind of split. New parts typically drop in Asia first under Takara Tomy, and after a couple of months, they drop with Hasbro in the US. And that delay typically takes a couple of months. Now, at the time of filming this, some of the larger Beyblades are Takara Tomy exclusive, meaning that the only way to get them is through Asia. And I don't think I have the time to wait for them to show up locally. And that's where the sponsor of today's video came in, JPfans. JPfans allowed me to shop directly from Japan, letting me access sites like Mercari and Amazon Japan without having to deal with all the usual barriers. The process is pretty straightforward. First, create an account through my affiliate link in the description. When you register through my link, you'll be eligible for that new user coupon. After creating your account, you can browse products from Japanese marketplaces, add items to your cart, and place your order through JPfans. JPfans handles communication, payment processing, and international shipping, which makes importing products from Japan much easier than trying to navigate everything yourself. For this project, I specifically used it to source Beyblade products that I needed for measurements, testing, and design. Once the actual items arrived, I was finally able to start measuring the parts and figuring out how this case is going to work. If you're interested in importing Beyblades, model kits, figures, cosplay materials, or other Japanese exclusive products, check out JPfans using my affiliate link in the description. Make sure you register through the link so you can claim that coupon. So if you're trying to get parts before they hit the US, JPfans makes things way easier. This time around, I used them to get the newest Beyblade X parts early, which means that I can design around the real dimensions instead of guessing. Now in this package, I decided to get a couple of CX bays. I know that Phoenix is a little bit on the larger side, so that's kind of a key one. And I know that this Wolf comes with a ratchet that's a little bit wider than others. So making sure that these things can fit is kind of essential to making sure that I have a well-rounded case. If you're wondering why I keep saying deck when I'm talking about Beyblades, in competitive play, for most of the tournaments that you go to, you don't bring just one Beyblade, you bring 3. You build 3 different combos and you predetermine the order that you're going to play them in your match. That's why you need to have a case to not only indicate which order you're playing, but also to hide it from your opponent so they can't stack their order directly against yours. An essential part of how you compete. Once I unboxed and measured all the largest components from the shipment, I wanted to think about how the Beyblade deck needed to actually work. My first idea was to have the top act as the twisting knob, where it would reveal the Beyblades when I turned the top knob. I started thinking about what existing products use that system, and the first thing that came to mind was my gummy vitamin bottle. I knew that if I was going to be twisting in that direction, I would think that the top would come off, and I didn't want that muscle memory to transfer over. So I decided to put the knob on the bottom. This way you're holding the entire assembly, so now when you twist it, everything is already in view. Now I had an idea of how this would work, but there was another constraint that I needed to make sure that I accounted for competition play. The slots in your deck case need to have 3 clearly defined slots as 1, 2, and 3. Now, I didn't want to put numbers inside of this because I feel like that would ruin the aesthetics. I decided to keep it a little bit subtle, and I added dot markers like a pair of dice to show 1, 2, and 3. It's small, and not a lot of people are going to notice it, but it's there when you need it for tournament play. After a lot more sketches and a lot more modeling, I finally came up with a nice design that felt like a nice merge between an ergonomic water bottle and a Beyblade deck case. And this is the result. With the help of a carabiner, I'm able to hook this onto my bag and I won't need to worry about holding on to it. If you see my reels, you'll see that I've actually connected it to my belt loop, and it was surprisingly convenient. And because it's about the same size as a Gatorade bottle, I'm able to shove this in my bag knowing that it doesn't take up as much space as, say, a Gatorade bottle. And it's a nice presentation because you have to grip the top, you twist the bottom, and your Beyblades are presented. Let me go ahead and put a couple in here. And just like I anticipated, when you're holding the Beyblade case vertically and you twist it to open, the Beyblades are immediately presented, ready to go. 1, 2, 3. Now you can set this on the table, and because it is bottom heavy, it will not roll over. I was able to bring this out to a real tournament, the Red Line Rumble in Michigan, where you got to compete for a car, and it worked out perfect. I made one for me and my fiance, and we both had a lot of fun. Now, if you like this video, please let me know. I've been into Beyblade for a couple of years now, and I am absolutely in love with it. Making this deck was a good opportunity for me to merge the two hobbies together of prop making and Beyblading. So if you like this stuff, please let me know. I'll make more. Also, don't worry, the Iron Man suit is still in progress. What you saw at C2E2 was not the finished product, but it's pretty close. A lot of improvements still need to be made, but it is pretty close, and I'll be making a video on that soon. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, and thanks for watching.